Okay, so in today's video, we're going to replace this VFD with this one. Now, if you know anything about VFDs or you're familiar with these, you'll immediately see why we're replacing it. If you're not, if you take a look right here, the oxygen indicator has turned white while this one's still black. So this one's a good one, while this one has been cracked open. And there we go. We can see the damage here. If you caught my last video that I did, which was on how to properly remove the lens, you'll understand how this one got broken. Because at first glance, you'd be like, how does that even happen? How does somebody do that? Because it doesn't look like somebody was obviously just trying to damage the legs here for odometer fraud, because then they'd all be broken. This is somebody cracked the lens. I don't get why people do that. Just crack the lens if you're like ripping the legs off. It's a VFD. It's not LEDs. You crack it, it's gonna quit working. But they probably don't know that. I just it's so much effort to go around twisting and breaking all the legs. So. But yeah, if you caught my last video, you know how this happened, and we'll just be replacing this. Same model here, and through the magic of time travel, I'm able to show you it with it off, while the next scene, right now, is going to show me removing it. So yeah, let's get this off of the circuit board, so that way we can get this one on. Okay, now that we've gone through the time-consuming part of taking this VFD off of the good circuit board, or off of the circuit board we're installing it on, this one was already in my parts bin, so I didn't have to record taking it off. I just so happened to already have it off. I don't like storing these off because you always end up bending a couple of the legs, and it takes forever to get these lined back up. So yeah, let's go through the very fun, tedious task of lining up all of these legs to get it back on here. So yeah, let's get to work on this. This is why you shouldn't break your VFDs and should take the time to properly take your lens off so you don't break it. This video is a good warning to everyone not to break their VFDs, because you're going to see how much fun this is to line back up. I think the first couple of times I did this, I had to take the screen off too, just so that way I could get it lined up. But after a while, I kind of figured out how much fun it is. So, yeah, this is gonna take a while, especially because this one clearly has some really well bent legs from sitting in my parts bin for a while. So okay, let's get this done. I'm gonna take the headset off. Well, I wasn't paying attention and the battery died on the camera while I was putting this on, so y'all missed most of it. I think I got at least this much of it before the battery died. But basically, line up the legs little by little. You're gonna have to kind of zipper all the way down, so you get a little bit that way, then you come back, get a little bit this way, and just keep going back and forth until you get the whole thing on. And this one, I got this one leg that didn't go all the way. Oh, y'all can't see it there. I do have this one leg that I don't think the camera's really catching it, but it didn't go all the way in. It kind of got caught on its way down. It's a little bit wavy, but it's still down there enough that it'll work, so shouldn't cause any problems. So let's carefully hold this on there flip it over so that way we can start soldering this screen on. So we're just going to use a little drag solder technique and go across it really quick. So let's get that done. Gonna need some flux. Okay, well, now that we got the VFD replaced, let's power it up and take a look at it. So I wonder if you guys noticed from editing that I recorded this the wrong way, and so I had to flip it, and so everything was also reversed that way. In editing, I could only flip it both ways at the same time. But yeah, there we go. We now have a working VFD after probably, it's about a 40-minute repair, start to finish, of replacing the screen. That did count the time that it takes with recording too, though, so you can probably do it yourself in 30 minutes or less. But yeah, hopefully you guys like this. Let's take a look at something else now right before we end the video. I just want to follow up on the video I did like yesterday or the day before yesterday, depending on whenever I upload this one, before I end this video. So, you know, I sort of called out Tektronix for how he was teaching. It really had nothing to do with him, his repairs, or his business. Like, it wasn't like, hey, you're bad at doing this or anything like that. There's not that kind of call out video. It's not where I'm like, look at this shitty technician doing shitty things. This is just, hey, you shouldn't teach people to use tools to take the lens off because you're gonna scratch up the exterior of the instrument cluster, especially if you're using metal tools. And this is exactly how people damage their inlay, how they damage their screen, and how they damage their PCB. And so there's a bunch of reasons not to use any tools, especially when it's as easy as unclipping the top 3 clips and just pushing and pulling, kind of giving a little twist action there, and the lens comes right off. It takes a little bit of practice doing it, but it comes right off with no tools. You don't break that trip reset button. You don't scratch up your inlay. You don't damage your PCB or VFD doing that, and there's no tools involved. So, you know, you shouldn't teach to use tools. So here's another video of a different guy, different channel. It's this Blue Driver. They make like a little USB, or not USB, an OBD2 dongle for programming and tuning your car or whatever. I don't know. I know nothing about Blue Driver. I just kind of glanced over their channel real quick so that way I knew who I'm talking crap on in this video. So they do the same thing where they're using a tool to do it, and they completely ruin the inlay, and they don't even like restart the video or anything. They go, oh crap, we shouldn't have done that. That was a bad technique. So let's watch this. It's gonna have the audio in this. This is fair use because I'm not using it for the same purpose as they are, and it's not gonna be the entirety of their video. It's really a small portion of it because their video is about circuit board repair, and we're just going to take a look at the lens. So let's continue on. And this one's going to actually have the audio in it because you would expect them to say something, to be like, oh crap, we messed up, we shouldn't have done that. But no, they don't even say anything. So they don't even mention like, hey, yeah, let's just watch it. So here he is scratching up the exterior of the whole thing with a metal screwdriver, and taking off the bottom at the same time for some reason. Look at that. See, look, you can just use your fingers. You don't need to use a screwdriver.
Push on these 2 tabs with a screwdriver and then pull up.
So yeah, let's just shove a screwdriver deep down in there and see what happens. Let's just see if we can get this thing off of here. Alright, we're going to use a screwdriver again, even though we've shown that we can use our fingers to take it off. And there we go. We've damaged the inlay. We have a nice big mark across it that is not going to buff out. That is not going to buff out at all. So, yeah. And there's a ton wrong with this video. This video is meant for non-repair technicians, you know, not electronic repair technicians. This is for, like, your do-it-yourselfers. And so let's first show you how to ruin the inlay and not even say, oh hey, we were wrong, you shouldn't do it like this. Let's cancel this video, let's go get another instrument cluster from a junkyard or something and show them a better way to do it. No, they're just going to continue on with this crap. They're going to continue on this crap, show it online so other people can recreate what they did. If somebody does it exactly like they did, they're going to damage your inlay because they damaged it in the video. And
Move
then
the
it
gauge
continues
needles.
on
Pry up on
where
the needle on both sides at the same time and pull them off the stepper motors.
so okay, as a technician, as a repair technician, you should know how to set your needles. You shouldn't need to mark the needles on there. And I'm pretty sure that that battery is a bad stepper motor there. It kind of looks like it. Hard to tell though, because I really wasn't paying too much attention throughout the video. But yeah, so now we're gonna tell people that are do-it-yourselfers, just pull the needles off. It's totally cool. Like you're gonna be able to put them back on, right? I do totally understand. I don't like putting tape on inlays. I think putting tape on inlays is a bad idea. But for your do-it-yourselfers, you guys that are doing it at home, they're not gonna know how to set the needles. You're gonna explain to them like, hey, you just plug it into the truck. The needles will sweep. You set them all to 0, except for, you know, fuels and needle width below. You can try to explain that to them, but that's hard to explain. It's really easy to tell them, hey, just roll it down to the end, put some tape down, mark it, and do that. So it's harder for the do-it-yourselfer to set the needles without marking it. So obviously the tape method does not work at all if you have a failed stepper motor. If you have a stepper motor that is seized up, you can't do the tape method. And nobody ever mentions that when they teach the tape method to people. Put the piece of tape down, move it all the way to 0, mark it, take the needle off, put the new needle on later. Like that method is great for do-it-yourselfers. Technicians should never use it. Like if you're a technician, you should know how to set the needles. You shouldn't need to use that at all because you're gonna leave some adhesive residue or some mark on the inlay. But I get it. I totally get that for do-it-yourselfers. Like it's just really hard to teach them how to set the needle correct the first time. Yeah, so this whole video is just a fail. Everything about this video is a fail. It sucks. Sucks. It's a terrible video. Blue drivers should be ashamed of themselves for this video. They should take this video down. It's got 350,000 views. So 350,000 people saw this video and were like, I'm going to do it just like them, and this is a good idea. Only 167 of them gave it a thumbs down and said this is a bad idea. I'm not going to give it a react at all because that's an engagement for their channel, which helps feed the video. And I recommend you do not watch this video. Do not give it an engagement. Do not comment in their video because that counts as an engagement and the YouTube will feed their video more. So the only thing you should do is email this company and tell them it's a shit video and they should take it down. Okay, that's the end of the rant. We're going to end this video on a good note. We now know how to replace a VFD that a customer has damaged from pulling it off, or as a do-it-yourselfer, if you're comfortable with desoldering and soldering and lining up all those pins, you can also repair your VFD if you damaged it using one of these absolutely terrible methods for taking off your lens. There's, like I mentioned in the video before, people damage them trying to do odometer fraud. They'll start cutting all the legs off of them so that way they can say, oh yeah, the odometer quit working, but it's only got 150,000 miles on it. Trust me, dude, it's a good car. So yeah, you now have the tools in your toolbox to fix your own VFD on your instrument cluster. And I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next one.